Noah Winters, a 30-year-old man seeking to escape the noise and crowds of London, was someone who had left behind his identity and past. He was exhausted by everything, feeling lost in the monotony of his life. The pressures of his family, the relentless hum of the business world, everything had become an overwhelming burden. In an effort to rediscover himself and live a simple, free life, he decided to leave it all behind. Thus, he embarked on a journey toward the tranquility of small-town life. The town he now found himself in was a small village near the sea, just outside Cambridge. Its name was Havenbrook. Here, no one knew him. No one was aware of his wealth or his reputation in London's dazzling corporate world. When Noah arrived in town, he appeared as just another man with a backpack and casual clothes, someone who wished to remain unnoticed. One morning, he stepped into the town's most famous cafe, the Blue Latte. This cafe was a gathering place for the locals. As he took his first step inside, his eyes were drawn to a young woman working there. Her name was Eva. Eva had been living in Havenbrook since she first arrived in town. At 27, she had chosen to reside in this small village, distancing herself from the big city at her family's request. She led a quiet, simple, and independent life. Every morning and every evening, she walked home from the cafe where she worked, never wanting anything, not even love, to change her. The moment Noah saw Eva, he felt something shift inside him. Her simplicity and the peace she carried within her slowly began to draw him in. But he didn't want to try and impress her. He knew that if she discovered who he really was, getting close to her would be impossible. Every day, he sat at the Blue Latte, reading a book and sipping his coffee while observing his surroundings. Eva, on the other hand, was always so busy with work that she barely paid any attention to Noah. But one day, due to a misunderstanding, the two of them struck up a brief conversation. "I think there might be an end to all this reading," Eva said with a smile. "Maybe one day, while working at the cafe, I'll actually have something to share about books." Noah smiled slightly and replied, "Perhaps books are the best friends one can have. But I think, right now, people are far more interesting." Something stirred inside him. He normally wouldn't have said words like these, especially back when he saw life as nothing more than a business meeting. But with Eva, something was different. She felt like a stranger, yet at the same time, he had this strange feeling that he already knew her from somewhere. He wanted to talk to her, to be close to her. And he could sense that Eva was responding to that feeling too. As days passed, they got to know each other more. Noah continued to present himself as just another ordinary person in town, and Eva began to see him as a friend with whom she could share her deepest emotions. Noah kept his true identity a secret from her because he didn't want to hurt her. He wanted to build a connection with Eva as an ordinary man, just like anyone else in town, to offer her a simple life. One evening, there was a grand ball organized for the townspeople. Noah invited Eva and eagerly volunteered to offer her a night of fun. Throughout the evening, they laughed, danced, and shared moments of joy. However, at midnight, during a quiet conversation in the corner of the ballroom, Noah's true identity was suddenly revealed. Among the guests were several well-known businessmen and journalists. For a moment, Noah had been content with blending into the town as just another ordinary man, without having to explain who he really was. But a reporter recognized him and announced it to the entire town. They discovered that Noah Winters was, in fact, one of the wealthy millionaires of London's elite business world. When Eva heard this, her heart began to race. In that instant, it felt as if her entire world had collapsed before her eyes. Overwhelmed with shock, she walked toward Noah. "Noah, are you really?" she asked, the hurt and confusion in her voice unmistakable. Noah looked at Eva with regret in his eyes. "Yes, I am, but I was just waiting for the right time to tell you the truth." That night, in an empty corner of the cafe, Eva cried alone for hours. The tears streaming down her face weren't just from hurt and disappointment. They were also from the turmoil of discovering the true identity of the man who had approached her with love, Noah. In an instant, she thought about how everything had unfolded so quickly and in such a wrong way. Even though she could feel Noah's kindness and sincerity, the fact that he had hidden his identity had left a lingering sense of distrust within her. Torn by her own indecision, she spent the entire night lost in thought. In the end, she felt the need to be alone, without reaching out to anyone in town, overwhelmed by how quickly everything had changed. Her feelings for Noah had become a tangled mess. She had to face the truth: she loved him. But that truth also hurt. Feeling deceived, realizing that the man she loved was, in a way, a stranger, weighed heavily on her heart. The next day, when the cafe opened, Noah came to see her again. Eva was there early in the morning, still carrying the sorrow from the night before in her eyes. Noah entered quickly, looking like the same ordinary man he had always seemed to be. But this time, the truth beneath that ordinary mask felt heavy. "Eva," he called softly, taking a few steps toward her. "We need to talk." Eva lifted her head and looked at him calmly, saying nothing. Silence settled between them. In the gentle cafe lights, everything appeared normal. Yet they both felt the storm raging inside. Noah approached cautiously. "I never wanted to lie to you. I came to this town to find myself, but in the process, I never meant to hurt you." Eva took a deep breath, trying to balance her heartbreak and frustration. "But you never told me who you really were, Noah. Your identity, your real life, all of it was hidden. Why did you do it?" Noah stood there, regret written all over his face. "When I finally decided to tell you the truth, I was afraid everything would fall apart. On one hand, I had my love for you. On the other, I feared how much the truth would hurt you, and I was scared of losing you." Eva sighed, pacing slowly around the cafe. "But this wasn't just hard for me, was it? You, someone like you, wanting to live such an ordinary life in this town. This double life must have exhausted you, too. After learning the truth, did I really know you? Or was I just in love with an illusion?" When Noah heard that, a deep emptiness settled within him. Eva was the one person he felt nothing but trust and devotion toward, and expressing that to her was the hardest test of his life. "I am more than just who I am on paper, Eva. I love you. When I found you in this town, nothing else mattered. But now, I have to prove to you that everything between us is real." After a long silence, Eva took a step back. "But that doesn't change the difference between your world and mine. While your world is something else entirely, where do I fit in?" Noah felt lost in that question. He didn't have all the answers. But there was one thing he knew for sure: he didn't want to lose her. Even in the midst of all this chaos, she was the only person who could help him find his way. As the days passed, both continued their own inner journeys. While Eva spent time alone in the corner of the cafe, Noah began spending more time with the townspeople. However, in a small and close-knit town like this, nothing remained a secret for long. Even though the physical distance between them never grew, the tension and the deep, unspoken connection between their hearts only intensified. One morning, as Eva pushed open the cafe door and stepped outside for a walk, she saw Noah there once again. This time, there was something different in his eyes. Taking a few steps forward, she quietly approached him. "Noah," she said, her voice softer than before. "Maybe true love isn't about accidentally discovering who someone really is, but about accepting them for who they are. Sometimes, our hearts are afraid to accept the truth, but they wait for the right moment." Noah slowly nodded. "Then, I don't want to lose you. I just want to wait for the right time. I accept you, this town, everything." Eva remained silent for a moment. Then she smiled and nodded. "Maybe you're right. But this time, I'm not afraid of losing you." Thus, over time, their love began to blossom once again. However, this was not just a journey of love between Noah and Eva, but also one of deeper respect for themselves and each other. True identities, past mistakes, and the intertwined complexities of life had ultimately led them to find real love. One morning, he felt that everything had changed since the first day he arrived in town. He had once tried to live as an ordinary man, but now the townspeople knew him better. While trying to escape the gazes of others and the way the townspeople looked at him, he also had to rebuild his relationship with Eva. Facing his true identity was no longer something he could run from. However, he had realized something else. His relationship with Eva went far beyond simply hiding who he was. As Eva worked in the farthest corner of the cafe, she glanced at Noah a few times. But the distance between them had not yet completely disappeared. Things weren't fully back to normal. As Noah participated in various town events, people began paying more attention to him. Yet, every time he felt the weight of being an outsider, he found himself searching only for the warmth and sincerity in Eva's eyes. One evening, as the cafe was about to close, Eva called Noah over. "Come, let's take a walk," she said. As the cool night air quietly filled the streets of the town, Noah and Eva set off on a walk together. "I accept this," Eva said, taking a deep breath of the crisp air. "But it won't be easy, Noah. There are things that hurt me, and they won't heal overnight. But I love you, and with time, things will get better." Noah slowed his steps, his eyes fixed on Eva. "For me, everything began with you. I don't want anything to change, but I'm willing to do whatever it takes for us to have a new beginning." Eva remained silent for a moment, then smiled and reached out, gently touching Noah's arm. "Then we'll keep everything as it is, Noah. But you need to accept who you are. There should be no secrets between us." Noah saw the peace and love in Eva's eyes. He realized that all the heartbreak they had endured had only made them stronger. At that moment, he knew it was time to leave the mistakes of the past behind and move forward on their journey together. As the days passed, the relationship between Eva and Noah deepened. The townspeople, witnessing their sincerity and the trust they had built, saw that both of them had finally found peace. Noah continued to help people in town, but he never carried himself with the arrogance of wealth. He always stood beside Eva as a man who had embraced a simple life. A week later, they attended the town's biggest festival. They danced together, laughing and holding each other close. Everyone at the festival was talking about them, but this time, the townspeople saw them simply as two people in love. In the middle of the festival, as Eva sat with Noah, she looked into his eyes and said, "It was beautiful to see this, Noah. I truly love you. No matter what, anything is possible with you." Noah smiled, his eyes filled with pure happiness. "I've never said this before, but I love you, Eva. With all my heart. For me, everything started with you, and it ends with you." At that moment, outside the town, the sun was setting on the horizon. As they gazed into the distance together, there were no more barriers between them. The worries of the past had faded away, and what remained was the beginning of true love. A year later, life in the town had become a routine for Noah and Eva. Every morning, they would walk together, drink the cafe's warm coffee, and chat with the townspeople. Eva had decided to expand her cafe business, and Noah was right by her side, still carrying himself as an ordinary man. He no longer wanted to show his wealth to anyone. The most valuable part of his life was every moment spent with Eva, simple yet meaningful. One day in the cafe's garden, under the warm sunlight, Eva turned to Noah and asked, "We're here forever, aren't we?" Noah leaned toward her and replied, "Yes. Just as it was when everything began. Here, with you, anything is possible." At a time when they thought everything was going well, the shadow of the past began to resurface, especially for Noah. He was savoring every moment of life in the town, deeply feeling the simple pleasures of life, the scent of morning coffee, and the peace of evening walks. However, some memories of his old world occasionally occupied his mind. One morning, an old friend of Noah's, Lucas, came to visit him outside the town. Lucas was one of Noah's closest friends from the business world. Stuck in the midst of wealth and power games, Noah's decision to settle in the town and live a simple life was surprising to him. "Is this really the life you want, Noah?" Lucas asked, sitting on a bench in the town square. "This place is too small for you. You're just getting lost in a chaos. People don't know you, but one day, this ordinary life will suffocate you." Noah could still see the allure of his old life in Lucas's eyes. That life had brought him confusion and endless dissatisfaction. But the peace he found in the town and the bond he had formed with Eva showed him that everything was very different now. "There was something missing in that life, Lucas," he said, turning his eyes toward the town square. "Here, in this simple life, I found myself. This town reminded me of what truly matters." Lucas paused for a moment, then shook his head. "Maybe this small life is enough for you. But you shouldn't forget that your past will always follow you in some way. Wealth, power, and status, they'll find you somehow." Noah hesitated for a moment with Lucas's words, knowing that his past was still chasing him, but he had found a place in this new life. He loved Eva and valued her beyond everything. Despite the warnings, he was determined. "This place is enough for me," he said finally, not looking away from Lucas. "And I would have liked for you to be here too. But I'm here now, and this is my life now." That night, there was an event in the town square. The townspeople had gathered to spend the evening together, getting to know each other better. Eva and Noah attended the event. Eva was looking for a helping hand to lighten the load of running the cafe. Noah had volunteered to help the townspeople, but the real matter on his mind was what Lucas had said. The allure of his past and old life sometimes crept into his present. When they were together, Eva said to Noah, "Do you really love me? I ask this because sometimes I see something missing in your eyes. A hesitation, a loneliness." Noah responded to Eva's question with a deep look. "Sometimes. I feel like I'm still chasing my old life. But that life doesn't make me happy. When I'm here with you, I realize that nothing in the world matters as much. But building a life with you requires a decision beyond everything else, Eva. I have to leave my past completely behind." Eva paused for a moment, looking into Noah's eyes. She saw the hesitation inside him, but she also felt that everything could still be healed with time. "Then let's move forward together. Facing your past will create something strong for both of us. But only with you. We must be a team." Noah, holding Eva's hand, looked deeply into her eyes. "Yes, we must be a team. The past is behind us. Now it's just you and me." As the town ended the night in a peaceful haze, Noah and Eva's relationship took another step forward. The time they spent together had further solidified their trust in each other. However, one morning, representatives from a large company arrived in the town. The company had been chosen to hold discussions about some projects aimed at developing the town. The company's goal was to disrupt the town's peaceful structure, modernizing it with more investments. A big debate started among the townspeople. Noah warned the townspeople about the potential harm these projects could cause, and Eva stood by his side, offering her full support. "We need to protect our life here," she said, bringing everyone together. But Noah was left alone with his internal conflict. The pull towards wealth and power still lingered within him. One night, during a meeting in the town square, Noah had to make a decision. Standing by Eva's side, addressing the townspeople, he thought about the opportunities his past could offer him and the peace he had found in the town. Noah addressed the townspeople, saying, "This town is not just a place for me, it's where I've truly found who I am. If we're going to lose something, it's worth losing." And in that moment, leaving behind the allure of his past, he stepped up as a leader for the town. He decided not only to shape his own life, but to help shape the future of the town as well. Over time, despite the developing projects, the town continued to grow while preserving the simplicity they cherished. Noah and Eva, with the love they shared, continued to build both their own lives and the peace of the town. The town grew stronger thanks to their longing and commitment. One evening, as they embraced in the town's garden, Eva said, "The most beautiful things are with you, Noah. I should always tell you this." Noah smiled and replied, "You already have, Eva. The way everything meets its beauty with you is the most precious thing." The townspeople were determined to resist the new projects and protect the tranquility of their town. Noah, Eva, and the other residents had united to successfully block the company's plans. However, this victory led to the town attracting more attention, and Noah's past began to seep in more. One day, a familiar businessman from London, Richard, decided to find Noah again. Richard knew Noah from before and wanted to see him back in the business world. When he heard Noah's name mentioned in connection with the upcoming town projects, he decided to follow the trail of Noah's past. Richard's offers created another rift in the town. On one hand, Noah thought about the peaceful life he had built with Eva and the townspeople, while on the other hand, he was considering the opportunities his old world presented. Eva could not remain silent in the face of this complicated situation. "I need to solve this for you," Eva said firmly. "We must do what's right, not only for you but for the town and our future. I want you to find balance within yourself, Noah." Noah remained silent for a moment, then took a deep breath. "Everything seems simple, but this is a test. And I can't say I'll choose the right path without confronting my past and losing everything. But with you, everything is easier, Eva." Eva gently held Noah's hands. "We can do this together. Everything is possible together. But we have to leave the past behind, Noah. From the very beginning, I'm with you. But now, it's time to reject that old life." The meetings with Richard lingered in Noah's mind like a cloud of uncertainty. As his old world tried to pull him back in, Eva, the townspeople, and the simple life they shared brought him more peace with each passing day. Starting each morning with Eva's smile and unwinding in the evenings with walks around the town square helped ease Noah's greatest inner conflict. A week later, Richard came to the town one last time to confront Noah. "There are huge opportunities for you, Noah. This town is too small for you. Just look at yourself. You'll see how big everything can be. To rebuild your future and challenge the world, you need to leave here," he said, his eyes filled with the allure of the old business world. Noah took a deep breath, looked at Richard, and responded with determination. "No, Richard. I don't want that life. In that old world, something was always missing. I'm here now, and by staying here, I want to do what's right. Eva and this town have helped me find myself. My past is no longer mine." Richard took a step back in shock, but could not say anything in the face of Noah's resolve. As Richard left the town, a new chapter began for Noah, Eva, and the townspeople. The town had overcome a great threat, and everything became safer and more peaceful. Noah and Eva had completely left behind the burdens of their past. With their deep connection to the town, they had decided to build their lives together. The townspeople were proud of the determination these two had shown. The town was more peaceful than ever before, and Noah and Eva's love for each other grew deeper with each passing day. One day, at a festival held in the town square, Noah and Eva danced together while everyone watched them. All the hardships of the past were erased by the love they shared in the town. Holding each other, they were living the happiest moment of their lives. Eva smiled as she rested her head on Noah's shoulder. "I've been waiting for this. Together, everything is possible, right?" Noah looked at Eva with love and peace in his eyes. "Yes, everything is possible with you. I will spend my life with you, Eva. This town has become a home for us. Nothing can ever separate us now." Years passed, and the town continued to grow thanks to Noah and Eva's love. They both continued to serve the townspeople. The cafe had become the social hub of the town, where people gathered to support one another, forgetting the challenges of daily life. One morning, in the town square, the townspeople came together to hold a ceremony to thank Noah and Eva. At that moment, they celebrated them as the two people who had ensured the town's peace, happiness, and safety. Noah, holding Eva's hand, addressed the crowd. "Here in this town, I have learned how valuable everything is. All the successes from my past mean nothing compared to this moment. Today, I am proud to live here, together with all of you." Eva, looking at Noah with tear-filled eyes, said, "This was the beginning. This place became more than just a town for us. It was love that kept us together, and that love has always grown." The townspeople cheered and applauded. Noah and Eva embraced, setting sail together into the future. The town had become a place nurtured by their love, and what had once started as a love born from a mistake had now turned into a tale of happiness for the whole town. Over time, the town grew and developed, but nothing could change their old simplicity or their love-based way of life. One day, Noah and Eva walked into the town square, their hands intertwined. In their eyes, there was nothing but peace and happiness. Eva, smiling, turned to Noah and said, "In the end, we've seen how much we can trust each other, and that with love, we can overcome anything. This will be an eternal story." Noah, looking at her with deep love in his eyes, replied, "Yes, forever. Together, anything is possible." And in that moment, under the lights of the town, Noah and Eva continued to live together in eternal happiness. Noah and Eva had found happiness in the peaceful life they had built in the town. However, from time to time, challenges from the outside world threatened the tranquility of the townspeople. With the town's growth, some individuals began to oppose its traditional structure, and demands for modernization started to arise. One day, a few businessmen from outside the town argued that the town's values needed to change. These individuals planned to fill the town with large hotels and shopping centers. This was in direct conflict with the values of the townspeople. The residents did not want their town to change in this way. In the face of this threat, Noah thought about stepping in once again. Together with Eva, they decided to take action to protect the town. However, this would become a test for Noah and Eva. Their past connections in the business world could assist them in this situation, but they loved the town and did not want to allow it to be harmed. Eva, as always, stood by Noah, trusting him completely. We must fight this, Noah. But we must protect not our past, but our present and our future. We must defend the rights of our town. Noah smiled at Eva and said, "Yes, together we can achieve anything. But this time, we must fight for the soul of the town. Money and power, none of that can replace our peace." Noah and Eva rallied the townspeople and launched a counterattack. The residents, standing strong together, began to resist the large company's projects. In the meetings they held in the town square, the townspeople were determined to preserve the town's old spirit. Noah addressed the crowd, saying, "The town has become a home, a sanctuary for us. We found peace and love here. We must protect this. What matters to us is not just money, but the values of our town. If we fight together, this town will belong to all of us." Eva, participating in the meetings, encouraged the townspeople. "We are stronger together. The future of our town is in our hands. Here, we are a family, and we will protect our family." Under Eva and Noah's leadership, the townspeople united. Thanks to their determined stance, the large company's projects were postponed. Through their collective effort, the townspeople succeeded in preserving the town's freedom. After the victory of the townspeople, Noah and Eva lived a peaceful life for a while. However, the chaos of the past and uncertainties about the future occasionally affected them both. One day, the foundation of one of the oldest houses in the town shook, and some buildings started to collapse slightly. This was a huge shock for the townspeople. Noah began to worry about the future of the town. "Eva, what should we do? This town is going through a major change. It will be hard to preserve the old structures while balancing the new innovations," he said. His concerns led to more questions about the future of the town and its people. Eva looked at Noah calmly and said, "Everything is temporary, Noah. We will deal with the challenges. This town has been a home to us from the past to today, and we will rebuild the walls of this home. Together, we can overcome any difficulty." Noah felt a little relieved by Eva's comforting words. But there were still great uncertainties about the future. "The ruins of the past scare me as we try to rebuild the town. The town is changing, people are changing." Eva, holding Noah's hand, said, "Every moment we're in, every obstacle we face, is actually helping us become stronger. The future will show us how we shape it, and we will move forward on this path, always holding on to each other." After facing the challenges, Noah and Eva became a new beacon of hope for the townspeople. The town began to develop a plan to preserve its old structures while living more harmoniously with the new innovations. Noah decided to protect the town's history, but also embraced modernity. During this process, the townspeople worked together to strengthen their community. 1 year later, the town underwent a major transformation. The previously ruined buildings were restored, and the townspeople had collaborated on new projects to improve their town. As Noah and Eva celebrated with the townsfolk in the town square, they looked at each other with love and said, "This town has become a symbol of our love and determination. Together, we overcame every challenge and built a stronger community," said Noah. Eva smiled and nodded. "Yes, this was the beginning of everything. We succeeded together. All of us. The town became our home." The town grew and developed even more with the time they spent together. Noah and Eva continued to lead the townspeople. Free from the burdens of the past, they learned to appreciate the value of each new day. Their love for each other became an inspiration, not only for their town, but also for the love the townspeople had for one another. Noah and Eva, together with the townspeople, began to live a happier life each day, drawing strength from the challenges they had faced. Their plans for the future grew brighter with each passing day. New projects helped the town's development, while the people's bonds with each other became even stronger. Finally, Noah and Eva climbed to the highest point of the town and embraced each other as they watched the sunset. The town had returned to its former self, and its people continued to live in peace. Everything was as simple as it had been at the beginning, yet it was all the more beautiful. Eva whispered into Noah's ear, "Together, everything is possible, right?" Noah smiled and replied, "Yes, everything is possible with you." And at that moment, a happy ending arrived, filled with the hopes, loves, and shared moments of the townspeople. Noah and Eva continued to love each other and their town, at peace with spending their entire lives together.